Good morning, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. But this is no special day when it comes to myself, anyway, because every day is Valentine's Day. Look at me. Oh my gosh, you guys. I thank you guys for being here. I thank you guys for being a part of my journey. A part of my life. I appreciate the connections that I have received throughout these past couple of years. They mean a great deal to me. I don't take love lightly, so I thank you for it, and please know that I send you my deepest love continuously. So today, as you can tell, this is going to be from my deepest part of who I am. Of course, everything that I give you guys is from my heart and from my spirit. But some things just really come from the depths of who I am. I have been wanting to make a video about the 7 levels of initiations for a while, and of course, you know, every day there is an upgrade. Every day there is something new going on and taking place. Energetically, there seems to be not enough time to do every single thing, so we have to choose what holds value every single day. So today being Valentine's Day, or it's actually the 14th, it has nothing to do with Valentine's Day. It just is a coincidence for myself, or not a coincidence. I am in the beginning phases of my moon in sign. My moon in sign is actually going to really be on February the 17th, but as I have asked you all to count back 3 days, 2.5 days, 3 days, anyway, it takes me to today, which is actually the moon in Aries. If you are in my Sacred Secretion Master class, we have already gone through this a little bit. It has actually been going a little slow where I am there on Patreon as a result of my week of healing here. Today I feel extremely light. I slept pretty much throughout the entire night, and so I have waken up very refreshed. I feel fantastic inside. Of course, you can still hear crackiness in my throat, my voice. Perhaps you can't, I don't know, but I can definitely tell. There is still an upgrade going on through there. Remember, I also hope to explain it further as I kind of go through the 7 levels of initiations here, where they connect with, to give you a little better understanding as to, of course, what I am going through and perhaps what you are going through. This is definitely going to bring on lots of emotions for myself. As I get to the higher levels of initiation, so just be prepared for lots of emotion. And I am actually reading this from a PDF file that I ended up finding. So these are not my words, although I will probably most definitely be adding my own experiences in with it as best as I can, especially towards the end phases of the initiations here. So just like we have 7 main chakras, we have 7 main levels of initiations. If you go beyond the 7th level, of course it is because you have great mastery, and you have developed the selfless type of love and dedication of service. And I believe that there are 2 other levels of initiations. This is just me trying to remember and not really looking back, that you can take while being on this earth plane. So the spiritual path really begins prior to the 7 levels of initiation. This has esoterically been called the path of probation. It could be likened to the 9 months of gestation in the womb prior to birth. This is one's spiritual gestation, of course. The actual birth is the taking of the first initiation. The first initiation deals with developing mastery over our most dense body or vehicle, which is the physical body. To pass this initiation, one is required to develop a beginning level of mastery over this body and its appetites, requirements, sexual urges, sleep habits, and so on in service of the soul or higher self, which at this point would hold the ideal of balance and moderation. The second initiation deals with the need to develop mastery over our sacred, most dense vehicle, which is the emotional and or astral body. To pass this initiation, one must develop mastery over one's emotions, feelings, and desires to a certain degree, in service of the soul and or higher self. It is not so much the perfection in this regard that is required, but rather conscious intent and continual choice making to move in this direction. Material desires are beginning to be transformed into the spiritual desire for liberation and God realization. The principle is learning to not be a victim of their desires, feelings, and emotions, but rather a master and cause. This is the level of initiation which most people stay stuck the longest. Now, the third initiation is mastery of the next most dense vehicle, which is the mental body. To pass this initiation, one must develop some level of mastery over the mind and one's thoughts in service of the soul. This initiation is the first, more major initiation. This is the initiation that leads one to achieve what is called soul merger or soul infusion. The mastery of the physical body, astral body, and mental body allow the disciple and or personality on earth to merge with their soul on earth. This can clearly be seen in the disciple in their desire to be loving, forgiving, and to be of service, as well as to begin the process of liberation from the will of rebirth. it must be understood here that initiation is a process. It doesn't all happen in one moment. There is one moment when you receive the rod of initiation. However, there are 7 sub-levels between each of the 7 major initiations. When one takes any given initiation, they become a kindergarten disciple or initiate at that level. So just like when we are through our chakras, or when working through the tree of life, you have really a total of 11 sephiros, or levels of heavens within your tree of life. But there are levels within those levels that we have to get through. It's the same thing when we are, which of course our tree of life is a part of our 7 levels of initiations, just like our 7 main chakras and higher chakras are in relationship to it as well. You must then move through all 7 sub-levels to fully complete that initiation. This is what I was, let's see. Once one begins with their soul, once one merges with their soul at the 3rd initiation, things begin to speed up very rapidly. The 4th initiation is a major marker point. It is at this initiation that the soul body, which is also esoterically referred to as the casual body, burns up in the higher self or soul, which has been your guide through all your incarnation, merges back into the monad and or spirit. The monad and or spirit has been referred to as the mighty I am presence in some schools. From this moment on, a spirit is your guide and your teacher, and not the soul. The soul was serving as an intermediary teacher until this moment. Excuse me there. The soul body and or casual body, both previous to this initiation, serves as the respiratory for all of your good karma from all of your past lives and your current one. This respiratory is burned up over a period of time as one moves through towards completion of this initiation. I will be pausing occasionally. As you can tell, my voice is beginning to crack here, and so please forgive me and bear with me. When we are upgrading from the voice, because we have chosen the life of complete service, we are going to experience a huge transformation within our vocal cords. I was talking to my mom a few weeks ago, who my mom, if you recall me expressing a story about her, has great gifts. My mother is Vietnamese and of course comes from a long line of great insight and spirituality. Coming here to America and marrying my father, an American, also serving within the military. Her true origins of self began to deteriorate. People began to make her feel so afraid of what she has always known, and she hid within herself. And this is what we all do, really, regardless of where we come from or what's going on. We learn to hide within ourselves, never allowing our true expression to live fully. So my mother has closed off a lot. Everything. She closed off everything that she could do and see. And my mother is an individual who actually has a vision where she could be going about her day, driving anything, and receives a vision while doing so. That's how powerful her internal light is, yet she has lost touch with it. So my mother and I have really developed a stronger relationship in terms of all of this because of me opening up to what I truly am. It is now bringing her back out to who she truly is. And of course, her journey is up and down as well. She's starting all over again. Even though she still has these gifts present, she has to start over again because she has become impure in thought and emotion. But I was talking to her a couple of weeks ago, and she told me that my voice was different. Not the true sound of my voice, but the magic that was being emitted from my voice. That she knew that what I was speaking about was coming from something higher than who I was. And although those who work with me on a personal level have expressed to me that my voice has a power that makes them feel calm, safe, and guides them in the proper direction they're supposed to go, there is still going to come a time when my voice becomes one with Spirit, with Source, with God, because that is the path that I have chosen. It requires major upgrades, major healing. So that is what is taking place with myself and those who are also on this like journey. The fourth initiation has also been esoterically referred to as the initiation of renunciation. This is so because prior to taking it, one is required of some level to renunciate or let go of all attachments to the material world. This means letting go of one's attachment to fame, fortune, money, power, selflessness, people, family, or reputation. In the Bible, it is spoken about stripped away as a test to see if one remains righteous in the eyes of the Lord. I definitely remember going through this initiation. As I first began learning all about spirituality, of course, and consciousness, we are guided towards the laws of attraction. Because many times people who are low in vibration have a tendency to be low in funds as well at some point in their life. That the lack of money within one's life has kind of held them back from the belief in all things possible, because one, we have been trained to believe that without money, nothing is possible. So I definitely tried early on in my practices here of growing the laws of attraction, trying to believe in manifesting wealth. And as I tried and tried, at first, some things just weren't working. I began to realize, one, I was trying too hard. Two, I really didn't have the faith in doing so. And three, my path wasn't about money. Although, when you lift yourself to the proper flame of what you were supposed to represent from within, money becomes a product of it or the bonus of it, without you knowing your true internal flame, your true power from within. Nothing that you are trying to create in your life is going to exist. But I had to learn to let go of the idea of, not because God wasn't telling me that I had an abundance, because God was definitely telling me abundance, wealth, prosperity was my birthright. But I decided to let go of the idea that I wanted to be wealthy. The idea of wanting anything other than the here and now keeps you attached to things, which any form of attachment keeps the resistance from what is rightly yours from coming in. It's a counterintuitive a cycle that isn't going to work out if you want an attachment. Letting go of every single thing that you've ever wanted and desired other than love is going to set you free. And that's a personal choice to take. So in previous teachings, many people were told that the fourth initiation meant complete liberation from the wheel of rebirth. But many people know that while this is an important step, the initiates continue through the reincarnation process into another body at the close of this one, or through the continuation of the life until full ascension is achieved. I didn't feel completely free at the fourth initiation. Now, I want to add, in one of my videos I've mentioned, and I'm going to try and incorporate this into this video, that I had one more initiation before I went to Sirius. The path to Sirius is the fourth initiation. You go to Sirius after you have completed your fourth initiation, right when you're about to enter into your fifth. So just like when we are working with our chakra system, you might begin at your heart. You're really going to, you could drop down into your root chakra at the same time, but you're also going to work with the next chakra. You can be working with 3 levels at one time. You can be working within 3 dimensions at one time, because you are in one, beginning to learn another, and integrating one at the same time. That's why it can be very heavy, feel very limiting, especially early on, and even the middle phases of your growth process. The fifth initiation is similar to the third initiation. In the third initiation, one begins the process of the soul merge. The fifth initiation is the beginning of the stage of the monadic merger. So just like in my videos, when I am telling you we are tapping into the Merkaba, connecting of the Merkaba, the monad, I think that was a month, maybe 2 months ago. The cycle comes back around again. We are always working within. We're taking parts of that aspect of the higher self within, the monad, and the Merkaba within. It's never complete until it's complete. This also can be called the spirit merge, or again, the I am present. It is for this reason that this initiation might be considered the very, very beginning glimpse of your actual ascension, which is in the sixth initiation. You don't really begin ascending until you have come out of the sixth initiation. What ascension really is where the personality on earth, the soul, and the monad all become one unified being here on earth. The fifth initiation merges the monad and consciousness, however, not in full actuality yet. At the fifth initiation, one has to have a 75% light quotient in it within one's field. Another thing is that these initiations mostly occur in the inner plane and are very subtle. Many people don't even realize they're going through these initiations until, I believe, you get towards your ascension process, which I hope to explain to you further in great detail. And although I have been grateful to know when I have made a pass through an initiation, because I receive rewards, recognition, celebrations. So a lot of time also in my videos, I say it's time to celebrate. That is a graduation. Or I have received medals, awards, ribbons, envelopes containing a request to go to the next level. So let's see. The taking of the sixth initiation is the actual experience, the actual ascension experience for which everyone is waiting and working towards. In the past, when a person took their sixth initiation, they usually left their bodies and passed on to the spiritual world. On rare occasions, they were able to dematerialize their physical body and take it along with them. This is a form of that, a rare type of rainbow body that you probably have or read about that is taking place. However, this was more than the exception than the rule. The new push of the spiritual hierarchy in Sanat Kumara is to have people ascend and take their sixth initiation and continue serving on earth to help bring on the new age. Ascension is a full merger with the monad, or the I am presence, or the spirit on earth. There is a ceremony that takes place on the inner plane involving Sanat Kumara. However, in this individual's opinion here, most will not remember it. This experience can be very subtle, while the implications of taking this initiation are quite profound. There are many planes that which we go through as we evolve and work through our initiations. The first initiation, of course, is through our physical plane. The second is astral. The third is mental. The fourth is abudic. The fifth is atmic. And the sixth is the monadic plane. The seventh is the logoic plane. So as you can see, that ascension is the movement from the monadic and logoic planes. Or the movement into, excuse me. Each initiation you go through stabilizes you at the next higher plane. And plane is the same thing as a dimension. But plane is being used here because there are 7 planes and 9 dimensions with which we deal with here on Earth. Although we can still tap into higher dimensions because of the amount of evolution that is taking place. Just like I have expressed that not in the past, which I don't know when it actually began to shift, many people working with their Merkaba monad did not have to have the 13th hookup within the sacred heart center of the thymus gland. They had to complete just the 12 levels and prior to their merger. But now, because we are evolving and are ready to have this type of evolution and knowledge and experience more of the highest self, we are given this beautiful gift. Ascension, or the 6th initiation, is movement into the 5th dimension. The 7th initiation is movement into the 6th dimension. So as you can see, as you are within every level, you are within a higher level of dimension. Even when we take the 7 initiations, it is less than 1 inch up in a 10-inch ruler in terms of how far we still have to go to further realize God at the highest cosmic level. Evolving through these major initiations is, in fact, a major step. So the first cosmic initiation from the point of view of the higher university on Sirius is the 5th initiation. And this is what I was talking about when I received that message, that I have 1 more level to complete, or I had 1 more lesson to complete prior to going to Sirius, which meant I was within that 4th initiation and about to go through the 5th initiation. The second cosmic initiation from the point of view of Sirius is the 6th initiation in one's ascension. The third cosmic initiation being the 7th initiation. There are 2 more initiations that can be taken after we leave the Earth. These are the 8th and the 9th. The completion of the 9th is the movement and doorway to leaving this cosmic physical universe altogether. So, again, getting back to the 6th initiation, when you take this initiation, you are considered a kindergarten ascended master. You do have a choice as to whether you want to leave Earth or remain here and serve. Most are choosing to stay and serve. So apparently, that was my choice. And actually, I know I have made this choice a while back. And we do so by our heart connection. How you feel here on a daily basis as you begin to evolve, when you truly step into more peace and harmony and love. For the most part, dealing with still our ascension symptoms, our lessons, our experiences, and you are still, for the most part, doing your best to embody that love, and you feel that expression, for the most part, you have already chosen to stay. Let's see. I think it's important to know that in order to ascend, or the ascension process in general, it doesn't mean that we are going to be 100% healthy. And I hope that eases your mind. But it doesn't mean that you will not be. So hold on to the hope. But please don't hold on to the expectation that you have to be 100% healthy to ascend. And you might not even feel I think a long time ago I thought as if when we really became, and I kind of am. I am definitely different. And I will try to talk about this in a few more moments. But when I first began this journey, I kind of kept thinking, wow, when we finally become our true self and know everything, life is going to be so easy. We are going to feel as if we are a complete different person, yet living within the same experience. That we're probably going to wake up one day and then just boom, things are going to click, it's going to make sense, and we're never going to ever feel pain ever again. And and that's kind of how I already am. Because our idea of pain, of course, completely changes when we have gotten to an extent of where, throughout our ascension process, you are no longer that victim. You no longer give value or give power to pain and limitations any longer, and fears. So, in fact, you are completely different. You are completely liberated from that. But really, it was my idea in the beginning was as if this magic, this instant magic would just appear But I don't know, now that I'm actually thinking about it, I have this instant magic most of the time here. And I am completely different. Although some people, it may be very subtle. It may happen very subtly, and you may not even realize that you have actually taken anything different, because your life is still going to be the same. You're not going to move from here to, Jamaica or from here to Hawaii and just be completely different. Although you might completely change your environment. So just keep that in mind, though. But you will definitely be at a higher octave, and I guess that's the difference. You are vibrating so high while living, for the most part, unless you decide to change it within your same environment, with the same family, everything. And you, of course, will carry more light as a result of that, and you will be more connected to spirit and the ascended masters. So somewhere between the 6th initiation and quite possibly somewhere in between the 6th initiation, you will have complete liberation from the wheel of rebirth. But of course, it's very individualized and unique to each person's journey. In choosing to return, this is, again, your personal choice. Even though you have liberation, you can always choose to return. Now, when you embody love, you're more than likely going to return, because you are no longer, again, going to come back confined to separation, limitations, fear, and pain any longer. When we decide to come back again, because that the earth and everyone has evolved to a higher perspective and a higher vibration now, we are going to come back with most of the light that we have taken, with most of our lessons that we have taken. So we are not going to forget like we have here in the past. And that to me is very, very promising to know. There is so here, let me see, where was I? So to ascend and to take your 6th initiation, you will need about 80 to 83% light quotient within your 4-body system. So now the 7th initiation, of course, is when you are in your ascension process. And I am going to again, so the 7th initiation has to do with the movement from the monadic plane of reality up to the logoic, or the 7th plane of reality. Where the 6th initiation deals with merging with the monad. The 7th initiation concerns greater merger with Sanat Kumara, as well as Shambhala. I hope I am pronouncing both names correctly. The 6th degree initiates and ascended masters often have this service path. However, that is not required. And the 7th initiation comes a complete implosion of energy in the heart chakra. And this is because of the permanent seed atom that I have just spoken about a few days ago. It completely changes you at a molecular level. And the 6th initiation deals with the throat, the voice of it all. So, which I spoke about, I don't know, I want to say 2 weeks, a month ago. Now, I have realized, and without going back into my notes, I was in the 4th initiation. Again, it seems just a couple of months ago. My ascension process has gone very swiftly because I work very hard at it. From what I have read, is that many people can take from 1 year to 5 years within one level of initiation. Don't get caught up in the time frame. Get caught up within every single moment. learning to try and love and be within every single moment and learn from every single moment. Step into love as often as you can. And this is not about what people think you are doing. This is not about what people feel is true about who you are. I can still have experiences where I might blow up. I'm not saying I do. But I might speak my voice in a manner that people may see me as attacking them. Of course, if people see that, that is a representation of their own internal pain and limitation and perception. What happens with me if I end up blowing up? My mind and my heart are already aware of it, of that blow up. And I am internally processing it to reflect love. I am transmuting a lower vibrational thought and emotion instantly and reflecting in the emotion of love to the point where I can stop my blow up and not continue holding on to that pain and limitation for longer than I need to. That is you mastering your own internal self. And that is the trick into really making this ascension move quicker. Life is progressing at a faster rate anyway. 2020 came and went in a blink of an eye for myself anyway, because I was so focused on healing myself regardless of what the world was doing. When you are focused on you and yourself and your growth and your own personal light, time flies. Therefore, your ascension process can go by very quickly. Now, so again, in the seventh initiation, it causes a complete implosion of energy within the heart chakra. It creates a whole new chakra system. All the chakras become one column of light, connecting with the Antakarana. I've already spoken about this. This new chakra system, metaphorically, is like the creation of a new star system. The ascension of the sixth initiation is centered within the throat, like I just mentioned as well. The seventh initiation occurs in the heart chakra. It is the merger of the monad at approximately the 94% light quotient. The seventh initiation is not truly complete until the light quotient is stabilized at the 97% to 98% level. Yet, the beginning of the seventh stage can begin when you have reached at least 89% of light quotient. You aren't really into the seventh initiation yet until you have reached 94% light quotient. And to be able to take in more light means to be able to remove more pain and limitation out of your vehicle. The seventh initiation is the beginning of the transcendence of all physical laws. It is also a complete and total commitment to service and a relinquishment of all negative ego. So even though that the monad is fully anchored into the four-body system after the ascension, it would not be completely merged in its full totality until after the seventh initiation has taken place. The seventh initiation means that you are merged with the sixth dimension of reality with the seventh dimensional chakra grid system, or chakras 30 through 36. So for the most part, I speak about the 12 chakra system. But in all reality, we are tapping into even higher chakras and bringing them down into the 12 chakra system. The 7th initiation is divorced from all considerations of form, and the initiate becomes the concentrated point of living light. The 7th initiation gives the initiate the right to come and go into all the courts of Shambhala. It has been referred to esoterically as the initiate of resurrection. Lord, and I'm having a difficult time, Maitreya took his 7th initiation on the cross at the death of the Master Jesus. Lord Maitreya, of course, shared Jesus' physical body during the last 3 years of his life. Jesus took his 4th initiation on the cross. The 7th initiation is the one in which the child of God has found his way back to the Father and his originating source, or that state of existence known as Shambhala. The 7th initiation begins the full opening of involvement with the extraplanetary existence with which our planetary logos, the Lord of the world, is involved. At the 7th initiation, there is going to be a transmission that is sent through the rod of initiation, which signifies the full completion. This is also the process that the Egyptians went through. This is the, let's see, after you take the 7th initiation, work still remains to be done in terms of full realization or completion of this initiation. You have moved from being an advanced 6th degree initiate to being a beginning 7th degree initiate. It is most likely in the 7th initiation that the more advanced and transcendent ascension abilities will be developed. And so, like I was saying, I think in yesterday's video, is that many of our gifts will not come online until we are fully online. So that's why, and I hope you aren't beating yourself up, that when you begin to tap into a gift, it may be functioning for a period of time and then you seem to lose it. You're not doing anything wrong. It is the process of receiving. So as I begin to go through the conclusion of the 7th initiation, this is where you will experience something. This is going to be very hard for me to you're going to experience a death. And we all go through this. We know that we experience the death process and then a rebirth process over and over again within this ascension process. But this one is going to be like none other. Just like Jesus died on the cross, he went through that. He witnessed his own death and then was reborn. That's the death and then the resurrection that you are going to experience. So I am now going to take the time to kind of tell you about my experience here with that. There's a lot in the Bible, but you're going to witness yourself personally. And so on the 11th, it was the evening, morning, night of the 11th, I really didn't sleep this night. And this is why I'm telling you. As you can see, the 11th was 3 days ago. And it was also the new moon, as well as the peak of the stellium. This is where I experienced a major breakthrough in my process. So first I ended up seeing Jesus riding on a horse coming towards me. And in Revelations, it talks about a man appearing on a horse. So, I'm just going to read what I ended up writing down that night or that morning after it took place. As best as I can here. And this is my rough draft. I didn't go back over it and do any corrections. So there was a bunch of us in a small hotel room. Rachel was there and many others that I didn't know. I ended up, and this is the thing, I was doing something that I had no business doing. I was smoking. And on the second round, as I was smoking, Rachel looked at me and she said, "Look at you. You're loosening up. You're laughing." And I took another puff. As I took the pipe out of my mouth, I turned to my left, and the fire from the pipe shot outwardly and lit the man in front of me on fire. Everyone began to shout what happened and looked at me to see if I was okay myself. My mouth was burning. The back of my skull was burning. I heard Joe, which is my husband, say, "Throw her into the pool." We all took off running out towards the pool area. I couldn't jump in because there were other people already in the pool. They all looked like they were dead. I jumped. As I jumped, I heard a loud boom. I felt an explosion come out of my crown. In an echoey and distant voice, Joe said, "Grab her." Because I wasn't coming back up. I was beginning to drown. He jumped in. I felt his arms under my armpits. And as he lifted me up, he began to let me go. And I drifted up to the water's surface, unconscious and burned. And I was dead. I ended up seeing myself zoomed in on my face. Just floating there. For those of you who have followed me for at least this entire year, past year here, I have been terrified of water. I nearly drowned when I was about 6 years old. And actually, I think younger than that. And I ended up trying many times to get over that fear by, jumping off of the, that thing. What's it called? Anyway. And I almost drowned it every time. As I began to wake up here, stepping into faith and learning to remove fear, I knew that one of the major things that I was going to have to overcome was my fear of drowning. In the past, ever since I was 40 years old, so now it's 5 years, my husband and I have made it a habit to go to the beach. Definitely my birthday, his birthday and anniversary combo. We try to go back, so at least twice every single year, as long as our life permits it. We went this past year, and really, I wasn't really excited to go, because I used to want to go when we first began going to the beach. I used to need that to escape my reality. Because 5 years ago, I was definitely not healed. I was not even stepping into that aspect of my life. I was still broken. I was still kind of overweight. Everything. Very limited. Definitely terrified. I have never gone into the water. But I sat here I think the day previously, before we went to the on our vacation, that I was like, this is what you're going to do to me this time around, aren't you? But it was, when we got to the beach, it kind of was, bad weather for the most part. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get off on having to do this. And one night, as I was preparing to go to sleep, God ended up telling me, don't be afraid. I am with you. And I began to laugh inside, and I said, God, I know that. Why are you telling me this? Well, the next day, it was sunny. It was beautiful out. My husband decided to go out for an early morning swim. And I stayed back. And he ended up coming back in. And he said, Christy, if you're ever going to do this, today's the day. The water is perfect. The waves are calm. The conditions are just right. And he immediately said, use your faith to do this. And in my head, I was like, oh, don't you dare. No, I think I said it out loud. I said, don't you dare use my faith to urge me along. And I started to laugh because I knew he had me. I knew he had me. And I got dressed. I began walking out along the boardwalk into the sand. And my heart kind of jumped. And then I understood why. God told me the night before that he was with me. to not be afraid. So I didn't wait. Once I got to the beach, I took off, my shirt, headed straight to the water. I got in. We stayed in for about 2 hours. And I didn't want to get out. I haven't swam without some sort of device on me. And even still then, I wasn't very confident. I didn't feel safe and secure. I always felt that something was coming to take me away. But on that day, I knew I was free. And on that day, I realized nothing was ever going to hold me back again. So, as I was witnessing my own drowning and death in this pool, through taking my initiation here, I became conscious. I woke up because these are my visions, so my body is sleeping, but my consciousness is working. My spirit is working and showing me these images, messages, and showing me a lot of where I am, just like how I receive my regular messages. I am still, but my mind is consciously connected, my spirit is consciously connected. But then when you open your eyes, you are awake. So I ended up waking up, and I closed my eyes back, and I was huffing as I was coming to. My breath was very erratic because I had just witnessed my own death. And I felt every single thing that I was going through. I could hear and see everything that had just taken place, as if it really had taken place. I placed my hand over my stomach and chest area, my heart, to make sure that I was still physically present. That's how real it was. Yet, even though my body was huffing and puffing, because I went through a very traumatic ordeal, I wasn't feeling a sense of dread, nor anxiety or fear. I actually knew what was taking place. My death and resurrection. And this is what's going to happen when you take your 7th initiation. After that moment, I haven't been the same. Nothing's been the same. It's only been a few days. But nothing is the same. Yet it is. I don't know yet my service here, my connection fully. But my life is completely different. I will never be able to go back to that regular life. I have taken in more love. And I have no need for anything that exists here in the form of need, greed, and pain. It was beautiful to go through, although very I don't even have the word, unreal. And I've been thinking so much about the realization of life again. How so much has been taken away from the human spirit, our human experience. And that each of us, when we accomplish this, can give it back to all of humanity. And so as I try to close this video out, I wanted to tell you that, I've been feeling nauseous and dizzy. It is because, I also mentioned this in one of my videos, I think yesterday, is that because my Merkaba is continuously spinning. I am my Merkaba. I am my Monad. I am my higher self. The realization is not here yet because it is still a process of receiving it. But it is here with me and intact. I am here with myself and intact. The process can be slow because God, Spirit, Source does not want to overload us with too much information at one time. That is how beautiful His love is. So as my Merkaba is spinning, I am learning to live within it, within my human form. It keeps you off-centered, a little bit off balance, not feeling well, yet feeling completely whole. I wasn't sure how I was going to go about really sharing this experience of mine. I wasn't sure that I ever was. Not a lot of people, not ordinary, those who are in doubt will believe something like this, understand in something like this. And of course, it's not up to me to embed this type of reality, this system within them. It has to be found. And I thought this was so sweet of an experience that I wanted to keep it for myself. But what we keep, we end up losing. And what we lose, we end up keeping. What you sacrifice, you are given. I'm sharing this part because I hope that your experience can be greater enjoyed and realized and appreciated and loved. Just like you are. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.